All right, I'm gonna be taking this down, and I'm gonna be running corral boards, you know, like rails like that, down the side. Look who's leaving, because I got some lumber. Look at here, look at here, look at here. So that's for stuff in the barn for the goats to be fixed. And it's a humid, hot day because the sun is wanting to come out now. So I'm going to go change my clothes, pop those bands, and hope that I can do what I need to do, at least on the outside wall, because the inside has some structural stuff I need to do, but the outside is just to keep them from being able to get out of the barn when they're in there. And then the structural stuff I have to put a couple of 4x4s up. So I have to put a couple of 4x4s up on a I guess it's just a collar tie that's kind of smiling. And then I have another collar tie running front to back that's kind of cracked already. It had a smile and now it's cracked. So I've got to figure out a way to fix those. And the one I think is going to be simpler than the others. But I'm also, these long ones, the really long 2x4s right there, that for new collar ties, because for whatever reason they put a collar tie at every other rafter, and I would rather it be every rafter. So now that I'm going to be using it for animals in there and in and out of, I mean, we've already been in and out of it I've been in and out of it for 24 years, but I need to get it reinforced completely. And so I'm going to be working on that. And evidently something going on across the neighborhood. Although I was burning a box, but there ain't nothing on fire here except for a box. That big water heater box. Anyway, I'm gonna get inside, change my clothes, and I'm gonna get out here and try to do some work before it gets any later. See y'all later. All right, I'm gonna be taking this down, and I'm gonna be running corral boards, you know, like rails like that, down the side. I believe I'm gonna put a corral board on bottom, find a level place and put it at the bottom. See how I never allowed this to touch when I redid this wall? Daniel come down one day with his tractor. He got forks under and lifted it up, and we put 1, 2, 3, 4 new posts in on this side. And then this is some of the siding that I was able to salvage when we pulled all the wall off. I am tired. I'm giving up for the night, for the day. I've walked a lot today, and I feel like my knee it's almost getting to where I'm too tired. It feels like my leg is so sore I can't lift my leg. Well, I started to say it's pretty level, but that's not showing level. It's showing that it has to come up. Well, that shows like that. To get that in, you see that bubble? Look how much gap. But it looks level to the eye, so I don't know. But I didn't put it in the dirt. I didn't want it to go back into the dirt. I've got an old stump here. There's an old tree stump right there. I don't know what this, some kind of metal sticking out of the ground there. Looks like, well, because it's wet right now, I can pull that out. Anyway, so my plan is to do this whole wall in the T111 siding, like that red siding on the side of the building there, and what I've started on the side of the stall out there. I bought 2 sheets today. Cut it in half, will be 4 foot. That'll do an 8-foot section. And then I have a piece over there that's 4 foot, so that'll be 12. And then I bought 2, so that'll be 4 pieces. I bought 2 sheets, that'll be 4 pieces, so that'll be 4 and 8, 12 and 16. And then that last 4 is that one over there that's leaned up against, I don't know if y'all can see it. It's leaned up right there. So that is my plan, to cover this all in T111. But being it's 4 foot, you know, this is not a high roof. This building has sank slowly through the years. So at 4 foot, let me get my tape and I'll show y'all. I think this is a 4 foot tape. I mean a 4 foot level. So at 4 foot, that's that high. I'm only 5. So a goat's not gonna jump over that. And if I back up a little bit, so that'll stand still, you can see that's not much till you get to the roof. It's like maybe 2 foot. So it's at most maybe 6. I don't even think that's a full 2 foot. So my thought process is that I will run the corral boards along the bottom, get them all level and even. Then I'm going to come back and sit the T111 down, not all the way to the bottom of the corral board, but just a little bit down the corral board, so it still has watershed and it don't land on the corral board. It'll shed off. But when you do that with a 4 foot piece and you have 5.5 inches underneath it, and let's say I'm going to use 4 of those inches, 4 of it. I don't know how to explain it with in my head, but anyway, it's going to be higher than 4 foot. It's going to be closer to like this, and I think that's going to leave perfect light for during the day, shining through. And it'll still be, these are goats in here, so they're all going to be down, you know, they're down here, so any wind coming through is not going to affect them. And job I did today after I got home from Levi with the doctor was I went, I could walk out there, but I honestly, I don't think I can walk anymore today. Not like long distance. I'm just so tired. The old goat house out there beside that the tall feed room that out there that we don't use anymore. The goats still use it as a run-in, and yesterday when it was sprinkling, Molly was standing in it. But the thing is, they can't move around once, especially with Molly. When she gets in there, she can barely turn around in there to come back out. So I kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone. So I was able to take 1 full 4 foot wide piece of T111 and 1 that was just a few inches cut off the end of it. It wasn't quite 8, like the 2 together. It wasn't quite 8. It was more like 7 maybe. So I'll be able to take these 3 things down and put that other piece, the small piece, on that, and that will finish out that end of that into that stall. And then that's the other piece. So now that run-in out there is a real run-in. It's open on the whole end of it. So there's still a couple of raised, I don't know how to, beds for the goats, if you can call it, little stools or whatever you want to call them. There's still 2 of those out there, and at the other end I opened completely, so when they're out, they can just walk right in the end of it, and then they can turn around. And if she is now able to either come in the wide opening that I opened when I took them to board those 2 sheets of stuff down, or she can come in the original door and be ready to do a U-turn to go back out when she's ready. She doesn't have to stand in there and try to figure out how to get back out. She doesn't have to do that now. So the only other thing I've done was I put these 3 rails up here on the opening of the old doorway. This was a double and that was a single. It wasn't always like this. I don't even know if, as long as I was a little girl with Nanny and Pawpaw here, there were never any garage doors, ever. And then when I came, I wanted doors. So I built these doors, and they're old, and you can see where I just pulled off that had gone, well, you know, we've had a river up on it twice since these doors have been down. They've just been leaned up in there. So I cut some length off the bottom to get rid of all the old length that was messed up from sitting in the dirt. I put the 3 rails up. That one is not quite all the way in the middle because I wanted it to be where the goats push. So it's a little bit lower. And then, like I said, I cut that bottom off. So I've got the other door. It's still inside there. And then this door has to be reattached. It just needs to be reattached. And I may have to cut some of the bottom off of it too. Emma! But if you can see, I have a berm here. It's a concrete slab on this doorway. So this door never actually sat in dirt. When it fell off its hinge or sort of broke or whatever, it sits in concrete like a little slab. And this was Levi's for Christmas a few years back. Well, actually he was about 6, I guess, 6 or 7 when he wanted a basketball goal. And I used to play out here with him in the evenings. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave it right where it's at. But anyway, so that door will be reattached. Or I may just decide not even to have a door there, because that's going to be my feed room. When it all is said and done, I'm going to have... See, there's that post right there. I'm going to have 2 more right here going down underneath this 2x4 coming down. And then I will have rails and wire. And so when you enter that door right there, the goats can't come. They won't be able to get in there. And I'll be able to feed them right over. I think between that 4x4 and that 4x4, which it's hard to see because I've got ropes and stuff hanging there, but that's about 4 foot there. I'll leave that as a gate to come into here, and then I will clean all this out. All this gets cleaned out. Katie will still keep that little makeshift yard over there, but at night now when she's going to bed, she'll just be right on the other side of that wire until she's a little older and can bed up with them. And Sam and baby girl are in there with Katie right now. Baby girl's almost as bad as Mary about pushing her and hitting her. They came in the gate though when I was out there working. They're very fast and very sneaky, especially that baby girl goat. I could probably just run around with a stick hitting her and it wouldn't faze her one bit. But that will always, even when Katie's older, will always be a little stall over there if we ever need a stall for something like a sick goat or a hurt goat. I can use that. So anyway, I'm doing it. It's a process and it's a lot of work, and I'm extremely tired already. But when it's all said and done, everything will be painted red like I've been trying to do and hadn't gotten any further, but all of it will be red. Anyway, all right, I will see you guys later. Love you guys. God bless y'all. I'll see you later. Katie, I'm trying to do a video.